Hello, welcome back to VegPlot, and this is the second of our tomato taste test series this year. We're in the polytunnel because I'm just going to go around and harvest 6 new tomatoes. Some I had last year, but some are completely new and some are really huge and amazing. So we'll get through to that in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to show you what the polytunnel is looking like at the moment. We've got indeterminate tomatoes really shooting up and touching the ceiling now on this side and on the same on this side. And we've got sort of tomatoes, green tomatoes sort of everywhere. But we do have a few that are ripening up. And so the first one we're going to look at is Amish Sherbet. Now I've grown this a couple of years in a row and I really like it. It's a really fruity tomato and you get really big tomatoes off it, but it's not a big cropper. We've got this one here at the back here, which we're going to harvest in a minute. But yeah, the plant is sort of indeterminate. It will grow as high as it wants to and then die when winter comes. It's not very productive. I don't get a huge amount of tomatoes off it, but the tomatoes that I do get are delicious. So really fruity and big and few seeds. So anyway, let's get on and harvest this one and then we'll go up and weigh it and then we'll get on with the next one. Right, this is Amish Sherbet, and as you can see, it's a delightfully orangey yellow coloured tomato. Right, let's bring it over to the scales, just turn them on, and then yeah, right, let's just put that on there. Let's see how much it weighs. Right, 246 grams. So yeah, quite a decent size. I think I've had them bigger than this before, but yeah, I'm really pleased with that. That should be a good one, good slicer. Right, so I'll put that in the basket and then we'll go and get the next tomato. Right, that's Amish Sherbet. So let's go and now harvest the second one for today, which is Tundra, which is a completely different looking tomato, but really big. So it's all down here again on the south side. Now Tundra has been bred by a lady in Canada called Karen Olivia. Is it Olivia? Olivier, apologies Karen if I say that wrong. But yeah, look at the size of this tomato. Tundra is part of a True North tomato line which she developed, but also it's bred, I think, for cooler climates, so obviously doing quite well here in the UK. Now this is one, but I've got another one at the back which I'm also going to harvest, which is even bigger. This is enormous, look at that. So yeah, they're quite productive. We're getting quite a few on the vine. I think the leaf is what you describe as like a potato leaf, but it's also quite a droopy sort of leaf, as opposed to a regular tomato, which is quite, the leaves hang up, but these are quite spindly and droopy, but they do produce enormous tomatoes. So I've got a couple of plants here. So right, let me see if I can harvest this. Now I'll have to use the little snips which I've got, and yeah, we'll harvest these two and then go and weigh them. Right, this is the first of the two, so we'll just take this one, just snip that off. That's that beautiful. Just take that old truss off as well. Look at that beautiful size, lovely sort of heart-shaped tomato. I don't think this one's as ripe as it could be yet. I think it could get a bit darker, a bit riper. So this one's going to stay at home, but we are going to taste test the other, which we'll cut now. Now this one really is a whopper. Really amazed by the size of this, so we'll just snip that one off. Look at the size of that. Right, let's just bring it over here a bit. Right, yes, look at that. Isn't that a beauty? Wonderful colours, a sort of dark olivey green on the top and then sort of slightly folded in at the bottom. But yeah, the size of it is enormous. So let's just take this one back and we'll put this on the scales and see how big this is. Turn them on. Right, let's put that on there. So this is coming in at 294 grams. So yeah, that's a whopper. That's a really beautiful slicing beefsteak tomato. Right, let's just put that in there with the others. The other one, the Amish Sherbet, and we'll go and get the next, which I think we'll try is a Midnight Sun, because that's on the same side. Right, so the next one, as I said, is Midnight Sun. It's quite a beautiful tomato. Again, it's growing down here on the right side. It's an indeterminate potato leaf variety, quite wispy and thin and droopy. I think actually the plants need a bit of a water. This is exceptionally droopy. But yeah, here they are down the bottom. A couple of Midnight Suns. They're wonderful, aren't they? Sort of orangey yellow, bicoloured striping on them. Really lovely. So we're going to harvest both of these and then we'll take them up for the taste test. But yeah, as I say, Karen Olivier, she bred these as well. Again, they sort of been bred for cooler climate. So yeah, they're doing quite well in the polytunnel. Plant's got, yeah, quite a few tomatoes, and so I'm quite pleased so far. So right, let's just harvest these and then we'll go up and weigh them. Right, let's just snip these two off. 1, 2, and have a closer look at them. Nice sort of size and shape tomatoes, these. As I say, wonderful colouring, this sort of red tip to them. But yeah, orange and reddy yellow, sort of blushing all the way around, sort of striping almost. So let's take these up here. I'll put these on the scales. Turn them on, they keep turning themselves off. And we'll weigh them both individually. So that's about 65 grams, that one. So that's good, Midnight Sun. And then this one, 72 grams. So quite an average size, sort of tomato size. Nice shape there. Right, beautiful. Right, I put them in there. Right, now let's go and get the pink Berkeley tie-dye. Now, pink Berkeley tie-dye has been one of my favourites for many years. And yeah, I've been growing them on and off, yeah, for at least 5 years, I think. But they're bred by Brad Gates Wild Boar Farms in California. And yeah, I reckon they're, yeah, just one of the best. So they're all very profuse and productive. We get lots and lots of tomatoes on the vine. They're still quite green, but doing okay. Yeah, so I'm expecting good crops out of these. We've got 2 plants. We've got another one at the back here, as you can see, and lots of tomatoes to come. So really, really good tomato, these, full of flavour. This one I'm going to harvest isn't the biggest I've ever harvested, but let's just see if I can remove it. No, we're going to have to use the snips. Some of them pop off the vine much easier than others, so, but some we do need the snips for, so let's just snip that off. Yeah, look at that, isn't that a beauty? Really wonderful colouring on it. Sort of a very dark olive green striping with a very, very rich mahogany red colouring as well. Really, really nice. Right, let's just go and weigh this on the scales and see what it's like. As I say, this isn't the biggest I've ever grown, but size isn't everything, as they say. Right, there we go, 89 grams. So yeah, quite an average size sort of tomato, but these are usually quite delicious. So I'm really looking forward to trying that again this year. Right, the next two we've got Marmande and Sungold Select. Now they're around here. Now Marmande is a French variety from, I think, the town of Marmande. And I'm not sure if I can harvest it by hand. Let's see. They're quite popular, there we go, in the south of France and in France. Yeah, you see them in lots of markets. I don't think this is 100% ripe just yet, so we might need to let this ripen a little bit to get the best flavour from it. But we'll weigh it nonetheless, see what this one's like. Put that on there. 51 grams, so yeah, not massive, but I think it's probably going to ripen up a lot more than this. Right, we'll put that in there and we'll let that ripen up. Now I did see another one actually here, which I wasn't expecting to harvest, and this is Tim's Taste of Paradise. And it's kind of, I thought they were going to be bigger than this, but actually it turns out that they're tiny, tiny, tiny little cherries. And we've got 1 or 2 just right down the bottom here, so I'm just going to harvest those. These weren't on my list, but you've got to make do when you can. I've grown this sort of size tomato before, but I'm not all that keen, to be honest. They sort of seem like a waste of space, but Taste of Paradise, got to give it a go, haven't you? Anyway, they're quite productive. There's lots on the vines. I'm not really sure what you use such tiny, tiny tomatoes for. Just sort of salad garnish, I suppose, but just for fun, we'll weigh them, shall we? If it even registers 3 grams, so yeah. Anyway, I'm going to just put them just in loose. That's Tim's Taste of Paradise, and we'll come back to that later, but yeah. Now the last one I want to harvest, there's one over here, and we grew this last year, and this is Sungold Select, seeds sown on the 7th of March, and I've got a couple of them back here. Now they're very similar to Sungold, but they are not an F1. I fell over. Talking about live telly. Oh God almighty. My back pocket got hooked on that pot. I tell you, growing tomatoes is dangerous. Yeah, these two Sungold Select, and these basically are like an open pollinated variety from Sungold, and they've been bred to sort of be almost as flavourful, and they are really quite delicious. They're sort of a bit bigger than Sungold and they don't split as much. Anyway, see if I can get up from this position. Right, let's put these on the scales. So they're not particularly big, they're just like a little cherry, but the flavour does vary from year to year, so we'll see what they're like in a moment. But yeah, 7 grams for that one, and doesn't want to play ball. 7 grams for that one, so yeah, right, that's Sungold Select. Okay, well, that was a bit of a tumble, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, I do have others that I want to harvest very soon. This is King Kong. This is a lovely looking heart-shaped tomato. And I've also this Zailijiski Alatau. Now, in my last taste test, I tasted this and this was phenomenal, really lovely tomato, along with the Yellow Brick Road, which was in the greenhouse. But yeah, I'm not convinced actually. I've got to find out a bit more information whether this is Zailijiski Alatau or not, because they are, well, the yellow ones have a very sort of pointy base to them. They're very pointed at the bottom, and these are not. These are this wonderful red colouring. They're like a very traditional tomato. So I'm going to try and do a bit more research into that, and I apologise if you've all been looking for seeds for that and you get something different. But yeah, let me get back to you on that one. I'll update it in another video, but it really is a truly delicious tomato, this one. I've just noticed another tomato that is ripe actually, and I grew these last year, so I'm going to put this in this week's taste test video as well. And this is Cuban Salami. Now, last year I didn't really get many tomatoes and they weren't that great, but they were on the north side of the tunnel, so I've moved them over to the south side. Admittedly, they're not by the window, which I think, or by the edge, which would be better. But yeah, we've got a few tomatoes growing here and here. And what I want to do is I want to harvest this one on the end here. So let me just move around and yeah, see if we can harvest it. Now, these were delicious last year, really, really tasty. But no, I'm going to need the snips for this. Let me just snip this off. Bear with me. Isn't that a beauty? Lovely colouring on it. Very sort of rich olive and emerald greens with this red sort of flashing going down the base to the bottom. But yeah, it's quite soft, quite ripe. I think this should be quite delicious. With a name like Cuban Salami, you would expect it to be, wouldn't you? Anyway, right, let's pop this on the scale, see what we've got. 124 grams. So yeah, that's another one. That was a surprise taste test for this video. Right, I'll just put it in the basket with the others. I picked a few cucumbers. That's the other Tundra. There's Zailijiski Alatau. Yeah, right. Okay, no more chatting. Let's get up to the office and we chop these up, give them a taste test. Right, we're up at the studio and we've got the tomatoes here, and we're going to start with these tiny Tim's Taste of Paradise. So basically going to work our way up from the smallest to the largest. So yeah, hopefully they're really big. Yeah, ones that we've got here, this Tundra, we will have last. So if you want to watch that one, yeah, stick around to the end. Okay, right, Tim's Taste of Paradise. Let's cut one of these open and see what it's like inside. I'm not really sure if it's worth it because it is so small, but we'll do it anyway, just to have a quick look and see what it's like. So there we are, quite a yeah, very small, tiny yellow tomato with yellow seeds. I'll bring it over to the camera, leave that a little bit there. Right, here we go. I'm trying not to drop it, it's so tiny. But yeah, there we go, just a tiny little yellow tomato. So I'll try this a little bit and then I'll try this whole one and we'll see what they're like. So that's really interesting. It's got a flavour, definitely. It's much better than anything you get in a shop, apart from the fact that it's so tiny. It's sort of got like a tropical flavour. It's very punchy, it's sort of banana-y. It's quite an interesting flavour. I don't think I've experienced that before. It's definitely tasty, very, very tasty. But yeah, I can't really put my finger on it. There's a bit of crunch to the skin, not much, but the inside's just like in jelly, actually, soft jelly. So it's quite nice as it goes. Yeah, not the best, but yeah, not bad. Okay, right, Tim's Taste of Paradise. That's that one. So the next one we want to do is Sungold Select. Now this is the one where I fell over in the video, and you can see a bit of a scratch on the bottom of my arm there, but we're okay. Anyway, right, yeah. Sungold Select. So I've got a couple of sizes here. They're both actually 7 grams. I'm not sure if the weighing scales are very accurate on that, but yeah, quite small sort of cherry. So I'll switch you over. I'll cut this one open. It's got this sort of interesting colouring, sort of orange round, sort of like a greeny end. So it's unlike a regular Sungold, which is very, very orange all over. Anyway, let's cut this in half. Very soft on the skin, very juicy. Just leave that half there and bring this over. Now, first of all, actually, before I get on with this, the sound, let me know if the sound's not right, because somebody did let me know that the sound was a bit quiet. So I've sort of moved the microphone. Hopefully things are a bit better this time around. Anyway, right, Sungold Select. Here we go. Quite an interesting looking tomato. Lovely green seeds. Interesting inside, orange flesh. It's quite juicy. So anyway, let's give this a try. We grew it last year. I grew it last year, and it was one of my favourites. It's kind of better than Sungold in a way. It's not as sweet, but it doesn't split so much. So, and also it's open pollinated, so you know it's not an F1, so you can save your own seeds. Right, enough of that. Let's try it. Right, that's very tasty. It's got a little bit of an acid twang. It's kind of fruity. It's very soft and juicy inside. The skin has a slight chew to it. It doesn't taste of peas or fresh sort of stuff like that, grass or anything. It's just nice. It's a good all-round tomato. It's not quite as sweet as Sungold, but actually I don't think, you know, if this were children, you put it on their plate, I don't think they complain about it at all. It's quite a nice little tomato, this is Sungold. Right, that's Sungold Select and Tim's Taste of Paradise done. I've just a little change here. My cameras are all not playing ball at the moment, so we're going to do it slightly differently. I will go through them and cut them open. I'll show you them open and so on and taste them, but yeah, I can't film cutting them open at the moment. Right, okay, back to the test. So this is Marmande, and this is the French tomato from Marmande in France. It's a beautiful colour, isn't it? Look at the lovely reds and oranges on it. Wonderful colouring, but I don't think this is as ripe as it should be. Like I said earlier in the video when I was harvesting it, I think it could be a darker red. Also, many of the plants, if you go to France and you see Marmande or you grow them yourself, they're quite ribbed actually, and this one isn't. So I think, you know, some of them are more ribbed than others, and this is one that isn't so ribbed, but yeah, according to my records, this is Marmande. Right, I'll just cut it open. But yeah, here we go, quite interesting. I'll just show you. So it's quite a conventional tomato. You can see both halves here. It's quite firm. When I was cutting it, it's very dense. It's almost like a supermarket tomato. Few seeds in there, but it looks very pretty. But yeah, let's give it a taste test. Right. Okay, so there's no fruity notes to this. There's no tropical flavours or anything like that. It is soft. It has that sort of firm texture to the flesh, and there's a bit of crunch on the skin, but not much. It's nice. It's got sort of a tomatoey taste to it. It's kind of quite traditional. It's better than anything you get in the shops, but yeah, it is quite yeah, traditional, I'd say. But for the moment, yeah, that's Marmande, and yeah, we'll just put that to one side. Okay, the next one I want to do is one of my all-time favourites, and this is Pink Berkeley Tie-Dye. If you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know I really like this one. Lovely olive colouring on the top and these red sort of stripes and things. Really gorgeous, right down to the round at the end. This beautiful red all sort of coalescing together. Really nice looking tomato, this. So I'll just cut this one open, just cut it in half It's very juicy. Be careful, don't drip everywhere. So yeah, look at that. Beautiful insides, aren't they? I just love the look of these tomatoes. Very mahogany red, sort of pinkish tinge in the inside, but I just love it in the green seeds. Really dark. I think I've described this as a bit like a connoisseur's tomato in the past. Really nice looking. Right, let's put that half down here and try a little bit. Oh, I really do like these. Every year I grow them, I really like them. There's a smoky umami flavour to it. It's kind of rich and intense. There's an acid bite and twang to it. Not really fruity. There's a tomatoey taste to it. But yeah, really, really nice. But it's definitely the smokiness and the umami comes through. I'll just try another little bit. It's really, really delicious. So pink Berkeley tie-dye, really, really nice. I haven't grown the green Berkeley tie-dye. I would love to one day, but this is a rich, smoky, umami, sort of intense, yeah, connoisseur tomato. It's really, really delicious. I really do like this one. Okay. That is pink Berkeley tie-dye. Anyway, the next one I want to do is Midnight Sun. I don't know if you remember, I was harvesting these two gorgeous looking tomatoes. Look at the colouring on that. We got some peaches on the table at home in the kitchen, and I was sort of comparing them, or nectarines, and they're just the same. Really, really nice. Look at the colours, just gorgeous looking. Anyway, right, let's try one of these. I'm not going to try them both. Let's just show you. Yeah, I think if you cut it through this way, sometimes you get a completely different look. Look at that. And they're gorgeous, extraordinary colours. Really beautiful. Amazing how it radiates out from where the stem is and goes up to the top, that red sort of striping. Beautiful colours. Yeah, just look at that colouring on the top there. Isn't that wonderful? That pink and reds. It looks so juicy and hardly any seeds. So let's give it a try and see what it's like. Okay, that's really soft and juicy and sweet and slightly fruity. The skin isn't thick, but it has a different crunch to it, and it's got that sort of grassy flavour which I've experienced and sort of explained and so on before. It's not as tasty as the recent one, pink Berkeley tie-dye. It's completely different really. It's sort of soft and fruity, hasn't got that umami or smoky flavour to it, but it's a very nice tomato. This would go very well in a salad, I would think, whereas I think the pink Berkeley tie-dye is more of a sourdoughy type tomato. But yeah, really nice. Okay, the next one I want to do was the surprise tomato, and that was Cuban Salami. Now, I grew these last year. I didn't get many on the plant, and they weren't actually this big. This is the biggest one I think I've had. But look at those striking colours. Wonderful reds there, and the olivey green all the way around. Sort of slight, yeah, folding at the top. But yeah, really nice. Beautiful, beautiful colours. And with a name like Cuban Salami, I hope it's going to have sort of a rich umami sort of flavour to it. Let me just show you what this is like. If I get it without it dripping everywhere. Right, there we are. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Cuban Salami. All those colours around the edges, the sort of greens and dark reds, and then the whites and pinks in the middle all radiating out. It's almost like a sea creature, isn't it? But it's not, obviously. Really, really juicy. Seeds, got a few seeds, not masses, but yeah. Right, let's give it a try. Oh, that is delicious. That's really nice. Yeah, let me just hold it up. Yeah, this is really, really tasty. There's sort of acid, fruity, smoky, umami notes to it. It really is nice. I wouldn't say it's like a salami or anything like that, but it has got that sort of savoury taste to it. And then on the skin, when you bite it up afterwards, it's not thick, but it's got a crunch to it. It's got like an apple sort of flavour notes to it. It's quite nice. I'll just try another bit. Oh, that was interesting. You do find different bits of tomato slightly different, and there is a strong sort of umami smokiness to it, and it has got sort of a hint of a salami taste, especially the flavour that's left on my tongue. It's like I've had dried salami, or, you know, prosciutto or some sort of ham or something like that. It doesn't taste meaty or anything like that. if you're vegetarian, obviously don't be put off by it. It's very, very interesting flavour. I really, really like that. That's Cuban salami. 2 more to go. So we've got these 2 to go. The 2 biggest that we've got. We've got this one, which is Amish Sherbet, and this one, which is Tundra. So I'm hoping with this one that it's going to be different to the last. That was delicious, that Cuban salami, but that was slightly, you know, more meaty and umami and so on. I'm hoping this has got a fruitier flavour to it. So I'll just cut it open here. But yeah, this is what I find amazing about this tomato. It's the distinct lack of seeds. Look how fleshy it is. Look at how meaty it is. I mean, they're the wrong words, aren't they, for a tomato? They're not at all sort of meaty. But yeah, look how solid it is. The flesh of it is just extraordinary. There's hardly any seeds, but it's juicy and firm. I'm looking forward to trying this one. Right, that's interesting. That's not as fruity as I remember it. It's very soft. It's very juicy. It's hard to describe. The skin, when you crunch it up, does have that sort of grass sort of smell, taste to it. I'm just going to try another bit, see what I can pick out of it. But sometimes they just don't taste the same as they did before. But yeah, it's quite extraordinary looking tomato. Let's just give it another try. There's definitely an acid twang to it and a tomatoey flavour. I'm not picking up any tropical fruit notes or anything like that. It's a good slicing tomato. I mean, I imagine, you know, you could cook with these if you could, but they're not very productive, as I showed you on the plant in the polytunnel. But yeah, they are quite extraordinary. Not my favourite today, but it is one of my favourites, and I probably will continue to grow it just because, well, just look at it. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? Okay, right, let's get on with Tundra. Now, I've heard so many good things about this tomato. Bred for cooler climates by Karen Olivier in Canada. It's quite a whopper, this one, quite amazing. Beautiful colours there on the shoulders, all fading and sort of moving around into this rich red. A slight split going on there, but I think that's just been in the polytunnel a while. But yeah, really looking forward to trying this one. Ah, wow, look at this. Right, this is quite interesting. It's a bit like Amish Sherbet. Hardly any seeds. Look at that. That is what you call a tomato and a half. Beautiful colours. The reds in the middle, vermilion red sort of going out. A few little seed pockets, but not many of those green seeds. Really interesting, a really dense looking tomato. Right, let's give this a try. I'm really looking forward to this. Right, that's really firm, you know, and juicy, you know, not pasty, but meaty. It's got a real, it's twang to it and tomatoey flavour to it. It's a good all-round balanced tomato. It's yeah, I'd say that's a good slicer that you'd put onto sourdough. It's not rich and smoky like the Cuban salami or the pink Berkeley tie-dye, which I think is probably my favourite today. But it is a really good tomato, really nice, really meaty, something you'd quite enjoy, I think. Okay, as I can't film them all as I was doing before in previous videos, I'll take a picture and put it on the screen now, and I'll just go through them in reverse order from not worst, but the ones I didn't prefer as much as the ones I did, which will be number 1. So in last place this week is Marmande, and this is the French tomato. It's a good solid tomato, but it's a bit supermarket like. It's okay as it goes, but as I said in the video when I was doing the taste test, really it's yeah, maybe not as ripe as it could be. Anyway, so at the end there is Marmande. Second to the end is this one, which is Tim's Taste of Paradise. Now, I like it. It's a little flavour bomb. It's kind of interesting. It's like a little ball of jelly and flavour. Really nice, but tiny. And you've got this big plant, lots of trusses, but loads of tiny tomatoes. I'm not a great fan of loaded tiny tomatoes. It just doesn't work for me. Anyway, so that was second to the end. And then we have this one. Now, this is the Sungold Select. This was really delicious. I really like these. I also like the fact that they're nice and sweet and interesting, like little snacks. but not an F1, so you can sort of save your seed and grow them every year. That's Sungold Select. And then we have joint fourth place, we have the two big ones. And this really, I mean, they're wonderful, aren't they? Look at the size of them and the colour of them. They're just amazing. So I've got Amish Sherbet here and Tundra here. They're not packed of flavour, but they do have good taste to them and good firm meaty tomatoes. So really worth growing. So they come in at joint fourth. It's a bit of a chicken, isn't it? Can't say joint fourth, but anyway, they come in joint fourth. And then sort of third best is this one, and this is Midnight Sun. This is, if you remember, we had this one here. It looks like a nectarine, quite extraordinary colours, quite fruity, really, really nice. So yeah, that's number 3 is Midnight Sun. Really enjoy growing that. That's the first time for me this year. And then we have got this one. This is Cuban Salami. This is the second best one this week. Really, really delicious, fantastic. Look at the colours on it. It's stunning, isn't it? But real rich flavours. Really, really nice, this one. Cuban Salami. Doesn't produce masses on the plant, but I forgive it. If you grow enough tomatoes, different types, different plants, then, you know, well, you're just going to have enough. Okay, and then that leaves number 1, and this week is, as quite often when I do these, is pink Berkeley tie-dye, and this, I really love this tomato. It's delicious, really profuse, loads of fruit on the plant, big decent sized fruit too, but it's the flavours that get me every time. Really gorgeous. So yeah, there we are. We have number 1 and number 2, if I get them in the camera. That's what they are this week. So, thanks very much for joining me on that one. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next taste test video, which will be whenever the tomatoes are ripe. Okay, bye for now.